On January 17, 2012, Mike was indicted with 8 counts of murder, 1 count of attempted murder, and 1 count of personally using a firearm in the commission of a crime. Mike eventually pled guilty to all charges and was sentenced to 8 life prison terms, with no possibility of parole.
On October 12, 2011, for some reason none of us here today will ever understand, the gates of hell flew open, and you emerged as the face of evil in this community.
To the family members and loved ones of those who I have murdered, mere words of apology may never suffice. And please know that there is no penalty that the court could have imposed that compares to the burden I carry upon myself for what I did to your loved ones.
Well, it was another dose of reality in dealing with this case. 2.5 years later, to finally sit in the courtroom and hear him admit guilt, it's reality again all over for me.
Hearing him admit that he murdered my father and everyone else brought out a lot of repressed emotion.
Today's been one of the best days I've been here. I think the only thing you can top is hearing the judge say he's getting the death penalty, and I will be there. I will be there.
For me, I am 100% ready to. I'm not a proponent of the death penalty. I think I've said that before. I didn't believe in it before. I don't want to be him. I don't want to be a murderer. I want to throw away the key. I want to not keep coming back to court. If the judge was to say, I'm taking the death penalty off the thing, it would be my best day.
Assistant Public Defender Sanders filed several pleadings with the court, wherein the DA's office was accused of withholding information. It came to light through the proceedings that the Orange County Sheriff's deputies placed an informant into the cell next to Mike and elicited an illegal... It came to light through the proceedings that the Orange County Sheriff's deputies placed an informant into the cell next to Mike and elicited an illegal confession. Compounding the problem was that the DA's office withheld this information from the defense attorney, which violates a defendant's right to due process. The result was that the entire district attorney's office was removed from the case. The death penalty was taken off the table, for good, because their failure to disclose possibly exculpatory evidence forced the judge's hand to rule in this manner. Despite this mishap, the Orange County District Attorney's Office and the Orange County Sheriff's Office staunchly deny any wrongdoing, though 2 of the prosecutors that initially handled the case, Dan Wagner and Scott Simmons, resigned soon after the misconduct decision was delivered. Both are currently in private practice together. Mike and Michelle's son, Nick, was placed in the custody of Michelle's adult daughter. Shortly afterward, a new custody dispute erupted between Chelsea and Mike's mother, who also wanted custody. The outcome is unknown. The Salon Meritage is a beautiful salon, whose motto is, quote, "fine blend of hair, skin, and sustainable beauty." The salon reopened in November of 2012 and is now under the ownership of Irma Acosta. The website describes the guest experience as, quote, "one where you are offered complimentary beverages, Wi-Fi, a personalized product selection, and makeup touch-ups."
We ask you, Lord, to bless this place, to let the richness of your grace touch everywhere within this space and fill it with your love.
It was important to come back to reinforce what was here before the tragedy. We just thought it would be better to have good win out over the evil. Short of the walls outside being torn down, everything else has been renewed.
May the Lord bless you.
Amen.
And the Salon.
Bouquets of flowers, cards, notes, and even poems were left outside of the salon, a vigil and testament to the people that were innocent, loved, and did nothing wrong. People who were taken from this life, much too soon and far too brutally. While it cannot be known whether this tragedy could have been prevented, we still urge listeners to remain vigilant with the people in your life and be willing to voice concerns if something seems off. We close today's episode with our regular gentle reminder to stay aware of those around you and your surroundings. If you see something, say something. You never know how many lives you may be saving. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Active Shooter, the podcast. Remember, if you see something, say something. There's no telling how many lives you may be saving. A huge thank you to Darren Curtis, who composed some of the music used in this episode. Check him out at darrencurtismusic.com. DARRENCURTIS music.com.
Active shooter, reports of an active shooter,
mass casualty incidents.
Make sure to check us out on social media. We have a discussion group on Facebook. Just search for Active Shooter, the podcast discussion group. You can also find us on Instagram at Active the Podcast and Twitter at Podcast Active. For just $1 a month, you can get access to ad-free episodes, early release episodes when available, and a shout-out on the show. Just go to patreon.com/Active the Podcast. Thank you, and be safe.
Talentless Talent! It's me, your host, Kylie Dills. Talentless Talent is a podcast about those with extraordinary talent. We're talking about conspiracy theories. We're talking to comedians. We're talking to painters. We are talking to those who make portraits. We're talking to dollhouse makers. We are talking to people about sports. We're talking to comedians, we're talking to sex workers, we're talking to models, we're talking to videographers. We have it all, including a very special pickle time. Talentless Talent is hosted by me, Kylie Dills, somebody who has no talent. So be sure to tune it in every Thursday. I'll catch you there, my Talentless Talent babes. We're having a good time.
Talentless Talent.
Talentless Talent?
It's Talentless Talent.
Talentless Talent with Kylie Dills.